Give me some more numbers that form these perfect squares. 16 is one. 36, because we can have a field 6 times 6, and that's 36. 81, not 60, no. 64 is one, yeah. Okay. So we can create these lists of numbers because we know, well, 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4. So these are square numbers. Five times 5, and so on. There's another way of writing that. We looked at that yesterday. How do we write a repeated multiplication like that? Casper? Little 2, yeah. So this would be 3 squared, 4 squared, it's called 5 squared. So this little 2 can sometimes be called squared. So 5 to the power of 2 is 5 times 5, which is 25, and this is a square number, yes? Okay. What happens if I want to work backwards? And I say, what number times, that's bad maths language anyway, by itself, we'll just live with it, times by itself gives, what number times by itself gives 81? What's the answer to that question? 9. Do we know how to write this in maths? How do I write that in maths? Kiki?
What number squared gives?
No, I want to write it way quicker than that. There's a way of writing this question in maths without any words. Casper?
81. I can put 81 and then 2 boxes.
Nope. Liam? Nope. I want to ask this question.
9.
The answer is 9, yes, we know that. But I want to write all of this way shorter. Kiki?
With the equal sign.
The equal.
Backwards.
The backwards equal sign?
Yeah. Like it's on the left side.
No?
The equal sign's before the number.
No.
Wait, like a line? X equals 81.
I can write it even quicker than that. Yeah.
Like an equal. Like the line through it. The thing. Oh no, you followed it. Wow.
Square root. It's called the square root. The square root means what number times by itself gives whatever's in here. So what number times by itself gives 81? So if I ask another question without writing it all out in English, question, square root. 10. What number it's like this is the answer. 10 times 10 gives 100. So the square root of 100 is 10. Let's do another one. What's the square root of 4? Ridley? 2. See what we get? Now there's only a certain amount of numbers that you can get the square root of that are even. What are those numbers? These square numbers. So square numbers are the ones that we can get square roots of. They're directly related. So square numbers between 1 and 100. Anyone think they can list all the square numbers between 1 and 100? Ooh. Kiki goes first. Okay, go.
64, 81, and 100.
Very good. So it's just 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5. And these all have square roots. What's the square root of 49? 7. Yeah. Okay. Here's another question. What's 3 times 3 times 3?
3 cubed.
3 to the power of 3, which is 27. Yes, 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So when to the power of 2 is called squared, to the power of 3 and is called cubed. Why is it a cube? Yeah, it's like a three-dimensional shape if you think about it. If you brought a square into the next dimension, you would have a cube. And to get the volume of a cube, you do 3 times 3 times 3 if they're all the same length. That's one explanation for it. A visual one. Okay. So that is cube. What are the cube numbers? So these are square numbers. These are useful to have in your book. I'd write these down. Cube numbers then. Who knows the first 4 cube numbers? First 4 cube numbers. So the first one will be 1 times 1 times 1. 1. What's the second one? 8, yes. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. What's the third one?
27.
We have it, 27. 3 times 3 times 3, 27. What's the next one? 4 times 4 is 16 times 4. 16 times 4?
58. 58. 32. 48.
60 something. 64. 64. 64. What's 5 times 5 times 5 then?
125.
Yes, 125. Very good. Next one, anybody?
6 times 6.
Yeah, I know. What is it?
36.
No, it's 200 and something.
276.
Nah. 216. 216. All right, very good. All right, the last thing. Question. What number times by itself 3 times gives 125?
5.
What number times by itself 3 times 5? 5. We've done here. How do I write that in one?
5.
Lois, your hands. It's right. Okay, go for it.
Is it like, I think I've seen it before. Isn't it like this? Well,
Oh, yeah.
this?
Okay, that's square root.
Is it?
Good effort.
Is it?
It's very close. I get rid of that little bit. It's that, but it's not square anymore. It's cube. It's a little 3 here.
So I was close.
Very close. It's the cube root of 125. Okay. Make sure you have the square numbers down, the cube numbers down. This means, and what this means cube root, or this. What number times by itself 3 times? Hi.